Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's your girl, the Brooke Ashley, and today we are here to discuss The Real Housewives of Potomac, Season 6, Episode 2. Before we jump into this recap, let me just say, I know I'm late, but the doll was out in New Orleans getting her entire life. I'm about to move down there myself because that's how much I fell in love with the city. Beautiful city, beautiful people. The food was a 10 out of 10. Y'all are everything. Just the whole vibe. I was just like, I'm in heaven. New Orleans is about to be my new go-to spot. Like, she's really that girl. If you have not been to New Orleans yet, this is your sign, this is your confirmation that you need to go. Stop what you're doing and book you a flight and a nice hotel down onto the Big Easy because she's everything and then some. But I really got my entire life, and I was thinking about you guys the entire time, like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna be late with this recap. I hope they don't kill me because this was a fantastic episode, and I have been chomping at the bit to give you guys my opinion because pretty much everybody got on my last good nerve. With that being said, let me start off this recap by saying Mia, I'm still on the fence about. I don't believe that she's 36. Like, I just am not seeing 30-something when I look at her. If she is in her 30s, I would say maybe 39. 38 on a good day, but I am not getting 36 from Miss Mia. I'm just not. And then with her math being kind of shaky about how much older her husband is than her, it was very much giving she's trying to turn back the hands of time. Wendy, your slip is starting to show. Those insecurities are jumping out. It is not a good look. And I see how Bravo is setting up your storyline because we know that later on in this season, the rumors about Eddie allegedly cheating on you and allegedly having some side baby, that's about to come out. So the way Bravo is building up your story with you looking insecure and kind of crazy and kind of threatened is not looking good, Miss Mamas. I'm going to need you to pull it together and get right. Because you had me giving you a major side eye this episode. The way you were acting towards Mia, I was like, okay, girl, are we really doing this? And I'm not a Mia fan by any means, but you were making yourself look very bad, and we're going to get into that in just a moment. So without further ado, guys, let's just jump right on into it because we don't have a minute to spare. We start the episode off right where we left off with Gizelle and Karen going back and forth. Ashley and Robin, everybody at the table is confused. Like, girl, what are you saying? Like, what is sing sing? What does that mean? Like, is this old lady talk? Like, girl, what are y'all saying? Robin had me cracking up when she was like, is this a TikTok challenge? Like, what is sing sing? Even Gizelle is confused. Like, girl, what is sing sing? Like, what are you saying now? Like, what lies are you conjuring up in your pea brain? So Karen is like, I'm not the liar, Gizelle, you're the liar. And she says, you're a liar, you're a liar, you're a liar. The thing that I can deal with about Gizelle does not pretend like she is a kind person. Gizelle lets you know off rip, she's about to haze you. She doesn't take kindly to new people. She doesn't like new people. She's not a nice girl. She's still stuck in high school and wants flunkies kissing her behind. That's what she gives from the moment you meet her. With Karen, Karen likes to pretend like she has your back and like she's a good friend, but when push comes to shove, she turns on you just like that. We see how she did Candace when the whole thing happened last season, taking Monique's side when Monique was clearly the one in the wrong. Karen is a pretender. Karen is also a liar. I know that a lot of y'all were saying in my comments last week how Gizelle shouldn't have started the argument and Gizelle got what she deserved. While that might be true, Karen was still low down to go and talk about this woman's mental health. Yes, I feel like Gizelle was dead wrong to even start the argument, especially at a nice dinner at somebody's house. Girl, take that outside. Do that on your own time, not at someone else's dinner party. And Karen, it's really comical at you calling anybody a liar because you lie so much. Gizelle turns to Mia and is like, girl, I'm glad that you're her friend because Karen has no friends. Mia's nervously laughing, and then she turns to Karen and says, I love Karen, I adore Karen, Karen's amazing, all that jazz, but I like Gizelle too from what I know of her. I mean, she seems really cool and she has a beautiful heart. So everybody at that table is like, girl, what? So Wendy is especially confused by that whole little exchange between Mia and Gizelle. She's like, that's a little bit weird because you and Karen are supposed to be new best friends. So why are you here kissing Gizelle's ass when Karen and Gizelle clearly do not see it for each other? Like, you need to be on your friend's side. Like, friendship is all about loyalty. While I do agree with Wendy that you should be loyal to your friends, because I'm one of those people, I'm new to a new friend group, right? I'm going to have my friend who brought me into the group's back. I'm not going to sit up here and be chummy with some people who don't like my friend, especially if my friend introduced me to said ladies. So I do think that Mia was a little bit out of order for that. Mia should have stayed quiet or defended Karen. At the same time, Wendy is bothered by Mia, and it's evident. And Wendy needs to check that real quick because it's coming across as jealous, it's coming across as insecure, it's just coming across as you have a problem with this lady for nothing. So here's where we see how nutty Karen actually is. That the reason why she has a problem with Gizelle is because Gizelle wished death on Ray. I said, Karen, you really jumped out the window for that one. Like, you really pulled that out of your ass and you need to stop. Do y'all remember in season 2 when Gizelle was dating that guy? He was really cute, by the way, but again, I digress. But anyhow, she and I think the guy she was dating, his name was Kevin. They went on a double date with Karen and Ray. They went go-kart racing. And Ray had pulled Gizelle to the side like, hey, Gizelle, like, you know, what's going on with you in your dating life? You really need to lock somebody down before your looks fade. And Gizelle said in her confessional, Ray will be 6 feet under by the time my looks fade. And I didn't think anything of it. Nobody did. Gizelle is like, girl, shut the hell up. Like, you really are reaching with that one. And she was reaching. That was really embarrassing for Karen to even say that. I just don't understand how Karen actually says the things that she says and thinks that we're all buying what she's trying to sell. That was in season 2 when Gizelle said that. Gizelle was not wishing death on anybody, first of all. The fact that I'm defending Gizelle says a whole lot. I never thought that I would see the day, but Karen was truly reaching with that one. Ashley interjects and says, look, if me and Karen can be cool and be in a great space, there's hope for everybody. I said, girl, shut your stupid ass up because you were just saying how you and Candace would never be cool again a few minutes ago in last week's episode. How you two just don't mesh and you don't see it in the cards for you. So now all of a sudden is if her and Karen can be in a great space, then there's hope for everybody to be in a great space. You apply that same advice to you and Candace, sis, okay? Y'all know that out of all the ladies on this cast, I cannot stand Ashley the most. I find Ashley to be the most vile one on this cast, and that's saying a lot because Karen and Gizelle are right behind her. The dinner party is winding down, and Wendy wants to show off her new body again, so she stands up, gives them a little twirl, a little bit of T&A. Wendy finally admits that she got the booty done too. It was like, girl, we know. So we flash on over to Mia's confessional, and she's like, girl, are you that insecure that you had to wait and hear what I had done to finally admit that you got your butt done? Is giving very much insecure.
You not fab like that to be doing all of that.
And I found it quite strange as well that Wendy waited so late to just admit that she had gotten her butt done. The party ends and Mia is exchanging numbers with Gizelle and Robin. I was like, again, I have my good side eye on Miss Mia. I don't know why you sitting up there exchanging numbers with women who just got into it with your newfound friend who invited you into the group. But again, I digress, and let's move right on to the next scene. We finally get to meet Mia and her husband and their children. Mia was born and raised in the DMV. She lets us know that she did not grow up having all that she has now. She worked her way up and earned it. We find out that she lives in a gorgeous 3,700 square feet penthouse, and it's in the Inner Harbor in Baltimore. Stunning. We meet her husband, Gordon. Mia lets it be known that when they first met, she was a little bit concerned about the age difference, but she quickly got over it. And I said, of course she got over it, because he flashed that money, and she was like, okay. And I'm not mad at it. Mia and Gordon own 14 chiropractic franchises, so that's how they keep the money rolling in. I'm starting to see where Mia's storyline is about to go with her and her husband. It seems like there's a little bit of friction that Mia is stepping up her duties in their businesses together, and he kind of wants her to be more at home. I said, oh, I already see how this is about to play out. It's going to be another power struggle, this weird dynamic with an older man, younger woman. It's going to be all that. And while I think that Mia's storyline is going to be interesting, it's also been very done before. We've seen countless other women on these shows who have been with a much older man, and there's this power struggle. Look at what's going on right now between Erica Girardi and Tom Girardi on Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. Welcome to the cast, Mia, and your storyline seems like it's about to give us something. So now we flip on over to Candace, and Candace is on the set of this TV show that she's working on. Candace lets us know that this new TV pilot that she's shooting, it kind of parallels her real life. She's playing a stepmom who's dealing with all of these other ex-wives, and that's a little reminiscent of her being a stepmom to Chris's kids and dealing with Chris's baby mamas. Candace also fills us in that she's excited about acting. She has always loved acting. She was in a Christmas movie on BET, which was actually really cute. And she's also in that Netflix show with Tia Mowry called Family Reunion. So let me say, Miss Candace is making some things shake with her acting career. Blessings to her. I hope that the gigs keep rolling on in. And I'm happy for her, especially since she had a horrendous last season on the show. So good for Candace. There's a break on set, and Candace goes into her dressing room to FaceTime Chris. Child. Now y'all know I like Candace and Chris a whole lot. But I was very upset to hear that Chris is now her manager. I don't think so. Wendy Williams, Sherry Shepherd, Mary J. Blige, Jill Scott, the list goes on and on and on. It does not work. I said Chris needs to stick to owning restaurants, being a celebrity chef, and leave Candace's career alone. Good luck to them, but I think that Candace needs to get a manager that is not her husband. Somebody who is in touch and in tune and knows all about the entertainment industry. Chris said it himself in that confessional that he knows nothing about the entertainment industry. Listen, y'all, just my opinion. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments, but that arrangement can go real left, real fast. But again, I digress. So next we see Miss Ashley. Y'all know I can't stand Ashley. So any scene with her, I'm just like, ah. So anyhow, Ashley's at home. Baby Dean is playing. And guess who should arrive? Good old Sheila. And we know that Sheila is Ashley's mother. So Sheila arrives. She's playing with the baby. They get to talking about Michael. This whole scene, in my opinion, was pathetic. It was a hot, raggedy mess talking about a hot, raggedy marriage. The fact that she's even ecstatic about him picking up the phone when she calls is very troubling because I'm sorry, sis, but that's the bare minimum. That's the least that your husband could do is pick up the phone. And when Ashley got to talking about their sex life or the lack thereof, and she was talking about, well, you know, we do stuff to make sure that our needs are fulfilled. And the mom was like, you know, that's right, girl, because that's how people stray when their needs aren't being met. And when Ashley was like, because, you know, I just lay on my side and I let Michael do a little zoop, zoop, zoop. And then I turn around and give him a little boop, boop, boop. I was like, girl. Like, I don't know how much more I can say this. Their marriage, in my opinion, is absolutely pathetic. We can just move right on along. So now we pivot over to Gizelle. She's at home and her good friend, Robin, comes on over. She gives Robin a house tour. And when I tell you, I'm interested to see how Robin and Gizelle's friendship continues to play out after this season. Because when Robin was like, the interior is gorgeous, but the exterior is ugly. It looks like two houses just slammed together. I understand giving your honest opinion, but when it comes to your best friend and what you think about her house, I don't think it's the best idea to say that you find her house to be ugly on national TV. Anyhow, if Gizelle likes it, then I love it. They get to talking about Gizelle and Jamal's relationship, or the lack thereof. Robin says in her confessional that she never believed that Gizelle and Jamal were even that deeply in love to begin with. So this breakup really isn't a surprise to her. I agree with her. I don't believe that they were madly in love this second time around either. I honestly believe that this was a storyline. She called in a favor and said, hey, you know I don't have anything going on in this show. I need you. Do me this favor. I'll break you off a cute little $25,000 from my checks, and I got you. But Gizelle's going on and on about how her and Jamal will always be friends, always be close, but they're putting the relationship on pause. And in this time in her life, she needs a man who's 8 miles away, not 8 states away. They get off of talking about Gizelle and Jamal's non-existent fake relationship, and they FaceTime Candace. Gizelle, of course, is going to give you the tea and the shade. She's sitting up there telling Candace everything that went down at the party. She's like, girl, Wendy bought some new tits and some new ass. Like, she's a whole different woman. Karen brought some new friend named Mia, and she had everything done. I got my forehead done. I got this done, that done. And you know Gizelle's always going to put some extra stank on something because she just lives to be shady. So Candace is laughing, and then Candace has to get off the FaceTime because she's actually in class, because you remember how she's getting her MBA from Howard. So they get off the phone with her, and now they start talking about Karen. Gizelle lets it be known that she wants absolutely nothing to do with Karen going forward. She's just done. Gizelle goes on by talking about how Karen will never be able to afford a house because she's still in tax debt up to her eyeballs. And she says Ray will be dead by the time Karen can afford to buy a house. And Robin's like, oh Lord, like, here you go again. And remember that this new house that Ray and Karen are in, that's a rental. While it's gorgeous and while it is in Potomac, that is a rental. Karen did an interview before the last season had started and confirmed that yes, it's a rental and that they have the option to own it after like 24 months. But something in the milk still ain't clean with Karen's coins, because why wouldn't you just buy the house? Why are you renting? Especially since you're back in your beloved Potomac. But again, Karen has more stories in a comic book, so are we even surprised that Karen is still renting? Potomac is the only franchise where it's like overall, the cast gives a lot of fakery and brokenness. So I always find it hilarious when they try to throw shade at each other about money. Because it's like, well, sis, a good 4 or 5 of y'all got some funny money going on. So you need not try to shade the next woman about her coins because your purse is damn near empty too. But again, moving on. So speak of the devil. The next scene we see Karen and Ray. They're at home and they're talking. Karen is letting Ray know all about what went down at Wendy's dinner party. She goes on to say how she's not proud of her actions and some of the things that she said to Miss Gizelle while they were having their little argument. So of course, Karen is going on and on about how she's concerned about Gizelle, how Gizelle is so wounded, how Gizelle lost everything when they got divorced. And it's like, again, like I said earlier, with Karen, she's a dangerous person. She likes to play in your face and pretend like she's so concerned about you and your well-being to turn around, stab you in the back, and then throw some stuff in your face. And it's just so funny how her and Gizelle can't seem to get right. They really should be the best of friends because they are two sides of the same coin. They're both very similar personality-wise. Karen, in all of her fake concern, goes on to say how she wants to throw a love party for all the couples in the group and even Gizelle. She thinks that the party would be nice for Gizelle even though Gizelle is single. Karen really likes to weaponize the fact that she's married and that some of the other ladies are not. Like, being married is a beautiful thing, but when you act like you're better than the next woman because you're married and she's not, like, you sound crazy. Ray could up and leave at any minute. And that's why it's not good to put your self-worth and self-esteem in the hands of a man. Because if he leaves you for another woman, then what will you have? Who will you be? What are you going to do then? Like crumble and die? And Karen really needs to stop acting like she's on this pedestal because she's married. Is it a happy marriage? You and Ray both look like you're sick of each other, quiet as it's kept. You had to keep forcing Ray to say, I love you back to you at the end of this scene, so let's not. And of course, Karen brings up the relationship with Candace, how it's fractured, but it's not broken. If I were Candace, I would be paying Karen dust. She would never see or hear from me again because there is no way on God's green earth that you could side with somebody who physically harmed me. Absolutely not. Now we flash over to Wendy. She's at home with her family and they're having a family dinner. Her mom comes over, her sister Ivy comes over, and they are sitting down to eat. When I tell you that Wendy's mom is a trip without a ticket. Wendy's mom was enamored by Wendy's new boobs. And she was like, look, I want some new boobs too because my boobs are like 2 flapjacks, okay? Just long and just hanging. I was crying when she was like, y'all want to see them? And they were like, no thanks, that's cool. Like, I'm trying to keep my dinner down. I don't need it to come up. So anyhow, Wendy's mom is going on and on about how she wants new boobs, but she wants them to pay for her boob job. And if she doesn't pay for her boob job by December, then she's going to take them to court and sue them. I said, I am screaming. Let me tell you something. I am a plastic surgery stan account. I love it. I love a good nip, a tuck, a tweak. Get it done. Life is too short to be unhappy about how you look. You could tell that Wendy is really feeling herself now. Wendy's trying to be a hot girl. Okay, she got that body done, got a few tweaks to the face. She is trying to live her best life. She said, oh no, I am not trying to have my head in the books any longer. I'm trying to be, zipping it and zooing it and dropping it like it's hot. I said, you see what being on TV will do. Wendy makes an announcement that she is starting her own home essential line and she brings out some candles. So the mom is like, girl, what? The mom was like, in America is do what you want, you could be what you want, but not in our country. Like, we don't do it that way. And even though her mom was giving her a hard time, her mom comes around and says, Wendy, if you like it, I love it, and I support you, and I'm proud of you. But I was cracking up laughing at how Wendy has done a complete 180. And I'm going to need Wendy to stop acting like she got her body done as a means of self-discovery. Just call it like it is. You wanted to get your body done because you wanted to look better and you wanted to feel better about yourself, okay? You are trying to have a hot girl summer, spring, winter, and fall. And it is what it is. Just own it. There is nothing wrong with saying, I want to look amazing. I want to look my absolute best. Just own it. But all of this, I'm doing this under the guise of self-discovery and trying to find out who I am and all this pseudo fake deep stuff. Miss me with it. So now we switch back to Ashley. She's at home and she's on the phone with her doula discussing eating her own placenta. Karen comes over and Karen was a little bit shook at the conversation. She's like, honey, I had 2 natural births and I did not want to see my placenta at all. I was like, take it away, child. I don't want it. Like, she was getting a little skeeved out. Ashley gets off the phone and her and Miss Kern start talking about what went down at Miss Wendy's party. Ashley wants to know, what does Karen know that they don't? She's like, you were throwing out Sing Sing and Hot Box. Like, what were you trying to say? So, of course, because Karen can't help herself. Talking about, I just said Sing Sing because it sounded good. I actually didn't know that it was a jail. It's like, that's what I'm talking about. Karen loves to throw out all these accusations. Then when you call her out on it, now she wants to play coy and play dumb. You said what you said. Either stand 10 toes down in it or apologize and be like, you know what? I was dead wrong for saying that about this lady and I need to apologize to her. I really can't stand Karen. And seeing her and Ashley together in a scene, my blood was just boiling. I was just like, ugh. Karen then says that she doesn't want the issues that her and Gizelle are having to divide the group. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm getting really tired of this whole Gizelle-Karen beef. They don't like each other. They're not friends, never were friends. It's time to just let it go officially. This whole back and forth, they're frenemies, they're cool one day, then they're back at each other's throats the next day, is getting really stale and tired, especially at their big ages. They get off all that BS and Karen gives Ashley an invitation/gift to her love party. And Ashley's excited. Ashley's also excited because Karen has extended the invite to Michael. And we all know that Karen and Michael have been like oil and water. They hate each other. So Ashley's really touched at the fact that Karen is trying to soften and be cool with Michael. I was like, we all know that Michael is most likely not going to go to this event because he knows that the rest of the ladies detest him. And the viewers despise him as well. Me being one of them, because y'all know that I can't stand Michael. While they're talking, Dean wakes up, Ashley goes to get him, and child, I hollered because Karen was trying to get the baby to come to her, and honey, the way Dean started crying when he saw Karen, I was screaming like even the baby knows that Karen is no damn good. I said, that's right, Dean. I would have started crying if I had seen Karen in my home too. So finally, the scene that we have all been waiting for. It is the night of Karen's love party. We see that Gizelle threw her invitation in the trash, and Robin and Juan were like, hell no. Juan was like, count me out. I'm definitely not going. So while the party is getting started and Karen and Ray are waiting for the guests to arrive, we quickly flash on over to a short scene with Gizelle and her daughters. Baby, the way Gizelle's daughters get Gizelle together at every single turn, I live. She was trying to give them some dating advice and they were like, no ma'am, we are not taking advice from the likes of you. You can't even break up with the man correctly. You don't offer no emotional support whatsoever. Like, mama, you don't know how to date whatsoever. She was telling them how stay away from the rappers and the athletes, and Miss Grace was like, absolutely not. I will date whoever I want. I was really screaming when Gizelle was like, I dated an NBA player before and it sucked because he had blew his knee out and all this stuff. And one of them was like, so you're telling me that my dad could have been an NBA player? I was like, the shade of it all. That scene gave me so much life. I think that Gizelle's daughters are on point. Beautiful girls. They're it. I would like to see a little spin-off show with the girls. They really are pure entertainment, and they do not be here for Miss Gizelle whatsoever. I was getting my entire life. So now we pivot back on over to Karen and Ray's love party. Mia and Gordon arrived first. And did you guys catch how Ray was flirting with Mia when she walked in the door? He was like, hey, how are you? Like, who is this woman in my home? He was liking him some Mia, and Karen was a little bit shook, like, all right now, Ray. Ray and Gordon hit it off, and come to find out, Mia is Gordon's fourth wife. And I got my entire life when Ray was like, fourth wife, like, I'm still on my first wife. And Karen was not pleased at all. She was looking like, Ray, don't try it. And I said, see, Karen? I said, you see how these men will do you? Don't ever get too comfortable. Like somebody won't leave you behind, okay? Wendy and Eddie arrive, and then Ashley arrives to the party solo. Off rip, I found Wendy's energy to be very weird. Did you guys notice that when Karen was like, okay guys, we can all eat, and when Wendy was like, let me stand by my husband, child, I was like, that was a very odd comment to make, especially since they were all going into the kitchen to pick up their food. Like, I don't know what it is, but it just seems like Wendy is a little shook by Mia. And Mia caught it too, because you saw Mia's facial expression like, girl, what is this about? And last but not least, Candace and Chris arrive. Candace is nervous as hell because we all know that her and Karen's friendship is down the tubes. And rightfully so, because Karen did Candace very dirty, in my opinion, and Karen really needs to sit there and apologize. I personally would not have attended the party. I would have thrown the invitation in the trash like Gizelle did and told Karen to kiss my behind. But Candace is a better person than I am, and she and Chris are there. Karen is really happy to see her friend. Candace is happy, but she's nervous and she's also sad. She's trying not to cry, and she invites Karen over to her house so they can talk and just clear the air. Karen's ecstatic because she misses her friend dearly. I don't know how you miss somebody so much that you try to sabotage and stab in the back, but again, I digress. Candace goes in to greet everybody else. She gives Mia a big hug, gives Wendy a hug. She's feeling on Wendy's new booty. And the way Candace greeted Ashley, I was here for it. She gave Ashley one of those little nice, nasty, oh, hi, hello. And I could tell that Ashley was a little bit shook because she started eating her food all extra fast.
You know what? This is too much.
So here's where things really get weird. They're all eating and talking. Mia brings up how she's had C-sections for every single birth. While she says that, Wendy jumps in to ask her how old she is again. I was like, Wendy, what's up with the shade? The way Wendy said it, the tone was just off. I was like, again, Wendy has a very weird thing with Mia. And it's reading as jealousy or that Wendy is threatened by Mia in some capacity. Candace interjects and brings up the argument between Gizelle and Karen at Wendy's house the other night, because remember that Candace wasn't there. Child, Wendy jumps in to talk about how disloyal Mia was being, because if Karen is her friend, then how could she turn around and say that Gizelle seems like a nice person with a beautiful heart? So Wendy is on Mia heavy about them exchanging numbers or what have you. And Mia's like, girl, if Karen isn't bothered by it, then why are you so pressed about it? Like, mind your business. And I will say, while I thought it was a little bit strange and kind of off-putting at her trying to be in the mix with the Green-Eyed Bandits, I do get where she's coming from. If Karen's fine with it, then nobody else should be that worried about it either. While I think that Wendy is threatened by Miss Mia, I also think that Wendy's trying to start stuff so that she can have a place for season 7. It just feels like Wendy is working way too hard to secure her spot for next season. So Mia and Wendy go back and forth, and Mia's like, I don't want to talk to this girl anymore. Like, she is nasty. And I agree that Wendy was getting nasty. Mia actually handled Wendy quite well, because if it were me, I would have gone off on Wendy. Karen gets tired of their arguing, so she's like, all right, guys, it's time to play a game and have some fun. All the couples break up into teams and they play a little like newlywed couple game to see how well they know each other. Karen makes Ashley the moderator since Michael didn't come. Ashley starts reading off the questions and she's like, all right, guys, what's y'all's favorite positions? Candace and Chris go first. They both say Candace on top. Wendy and Eddie get a point because they say doggy style. Karen and Ray got the answer wrong because I think Ray said Karen on top and then Karen said all of them. And they were like, really, Karen? And then Mia and Gordon both say missionary. And I thought it was really strange when Wendy was like, oh, missionary? Really? And I was like, girl, what's it to you what Mia's doing in the bedroom with her husband? Why are you so focused on Miss Mia? It's giving a slight obsession. So the game is going on, they're having a good time, and then Ashley reads a question that says, which lady in the house would your husband want to get with? Something to that effect. Karen picks Mia for Ray, and Ray says that he would like to be with Katie. When I tell you I fell all the way out, I said, oh, Miss Katie really gets it going for her Ray. And even Karen was shook like, wait, what? Mia and Gordon both say that Gordon would want to get with Karen. I could see that. And Candace and Chris both say Gizelle. Candace makes it known that Chris has a slight crush on Gizelle. And it was also funny because I think that Candace also said Mia as well. So, child, when it's time for Wendy and Eddie's turn, Wendy made Eddie write non-applicable. And everybody was kind of like, okay, girl. I was like, Wendy, I hate to break it to you, but Eddie would do somebody in that group. That would not be you. I'm sure had you not been there or had you been secure enough to let him answer the question honestly, he would have said somebody else. Wendy's energy was just all the way off. And when Mia in her confessional was like, girl, that is absolute BS. Like, he definitely would have said a name. Wendy, I don't know how many more times I'm going to keep saying this, but you are making yourself look bothered and very insecure. And Mia is picking up on it. It's all in good fun. Everybody else answered the questions honestly. I don't understand why Eddie couldn't play along. And when Ashley asked everybody where you all met, and when Mia and Gordon said at the strip club, and all the other ladies who were like, I do not believe that Mia was just a bartender at a strip club. She was definitely a stripper. I mean, okay, and what if she was a stripper? Like, okay, there's nothing wrong with that. I don't like the slut shaming that goes on this franchise. And it's so funny to me because it's like, y'all be shading the same women that you kind of want to low-key be. This was a fantastic episode. I was entertained from beginning to end. But anyways, y'all, I hope you enjoyed the recap. Please let me know what you thought. You already know what to do. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. And I will see you all later. Bye.